or fail to respond?
Yes, thank you. Hi, Zarena. Yeah, here is John Wesley Balibanga. I was going through your, thank you, Isaac. I was going through your manifesto, and one thing that caught my mind, you will propose, you will work on the see first, settle later policy for exams. What will you do if the administration reject this proposal? Because it's something that you promised that you will do, and the students are here, and you are telling us you are going to sort out that problem, and we are sure that it's something that can be done. And for some people, maybe it's possible, but my question is, what if the administration reject that proposal? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sarah Barasa, and my question is, how do you think you are the one? How do you think you'll manage? What different thing will you do?
Before I start responding, are there any other questions?
You can first of all answer those ones.
Okay, thank you. When you walk through my manifesto and as I was writing it, I considered the first issue, insecurity, and I went through most of the proposals of previous candidates. Now, when it comes to insecurity, when they proposed security lights, all their focus was with regards to KPLC. And most of the candidates previously did not consider what about non-governmental organizations that usually give solar security lights as a CSR activity. And that was the major consideration when I was writing my proposal. So with regards to insecurity, first I was thinking of engaging the non-governmental organizations that usually provide solar security lights as a CSR activity, and also some usually private-owned companies that also provide for the same. Another issue with insecurity is with regards to wild animals and all. That's why I was thinking of engaging with KWS to provide a hotline where students can also be able to inform them of any wild animals around so that they can be able to act promptly. Yeah. On matters insecurity again, with regards to students who usually face issues out there, number one was with regards to security lights. Number two is the potential introduction of Students Insurance Fund, where they'll be able to get medical access outside school environs. So it would be very important if students had their own insurance cards. On matters to do with Student Meal Initiative, I consider the previous FIDA Comrade initiative that was proposed, and I think the major issue we faced with FIDA is with regards to accessing funds and getting funds to also provide for those students who actually need this initiative to go through their day. So my main concern was, where will we get the money for the Student Meal Initiative that I'm also proposing in my proposal, in my manifesto. So first, if you go through my manifesto, you'll find that most of the solutions I provide, or most of the initiatives, ones that generate money. For instance, students setting up workstations like the one we have here for vendor. It is under the entertainment bit. They'll be paying around 100 to 200 Kenya shillings for those workstations, which will be happening on a traffic day. So this money can go to the Daily Meal Initiative, funding some specific students who have also been identified by the management, which is a bit fair compared to the council proposing a number of students. If the management can identify students who actually need this initiative, the council in consultation, that is, then it would really be a fair process. So one of the things that I'm looking at is the possible introduction of alumni trust fund, where they'll be able to deposit some sum, which will go to the student meal initiative. The second one is with regards to the workstations, which will also provide for the same. I'm also looking at a potential of introducing at the Round Hat CRM. We intend to introduce at least one pool table, which will also be a source of revenue for the same initiative. The third one is the implementation of external formats, that is the measure of success. I believe that when we share a common goal, or rather a common vision with the people we are approaching with regards to our initiatives or matters to do with, let's say, KWS or the alumni, I believe they'll be able to contribute. And if that does not happen at that time, then consultations and further solutions can also be brought out. I believe that a well-written proposal and meetups, as well as a vision on what we are looking at and the possible solutions and problems you are facing right now, is something that external factors like KWS and the alumni will be able to share of the same. And I remember during the law school dinner, where we invited the alumni, they were very ready to also come in and share in the vision of the school and provide for in whichever way they can. So I believe the alumni will be able to come in as well. The Sit First Settle Later proposal is an initiative I considered when some of the students reached out to with regards to exams. Now, the Sit First Settle Later is a win-win for both the student and the administrative. Under the proposal, a student will sign an agreement with the finance to sit their exam first, then settle their arrears according to the timelines provided for under the agreement. So if the agreement provides for 3 months in which you're supposed to pay your arrears, then if you don't pay within the 3 months without a legitimate reason, then a penalty will be imposed. That will be a win-win. And if that proposal does not work for the finance, then we'll have to conduct consultations with regards of how to go about it. How do I know I am the one, and how will I manage? I'm one person who believes in team spirit. Managing as part of the Executive Student Council Secretary General requires the contributory effort of each director and each executive member. So yes, I believe I will manage with their help, and I believe that when we work together to realize every initiative that each council, or rather each member of the council is coming up with, then I believe we'll have a successful council of 2026-2027. Thank you.
I have a follow-up question in regards to insecurity. If I heard you correctly, you said that you envisage putting up an insurance fund, correct? Now, my question is, how will you convince us that this is not another SHA? How will it be efficacious to all the students? Does it mean that we shall be making monthly contributions to that insurance fund, or what? Perhaps you can explain further.
Thank you. With regards to insurance fund, there's that be that some students actually do have insurance as per that which belongs to their parents. Some have their own insurance from the private hospitals. And SHA indeed will come to school to do the same follow-up with regards to insurance, that is person to follow up. So I do believe that there is a way we can maneuver that, either way, in consultation with the clinic as well as the management.
Yeah, thank you. I'm continuing with my question, and I'd like also to know, do you have a plan B? That was my question. A plan B. In case the proposal is refused or is rejected, what's your plan B? Students are here, they are listening. Tell us something that, yeah, we would like to hear from you.
Thank you. Indeed, I consider the fact that some of the initiatives might be rejected. However, there's no visible initiative or rather project that has worked in any organization without consultations. So if a proposal does not pass in that instance, then I would need reasons, because the management will provide reasons as to why it does not work. Therefore, it would be easier to come up with a plan B when they have already provided a reason as to why this might not work, and the possible solutions we can also venture into.
Well, Zarina, let's roll back to insecurity. Now, if I got you right, you said you're going to liaise with NGOs that provide security lights, right, to serve that. Now, my concern is, are you aware that almost the last 3 SGs proposed the same, but it didn't work? I don't know. I don't want to ask you why it didn't work, but here's the reason. One, we have the issue of time constraint. You are going to be in office for like basically not more than 6 months actively. Then another thing, try to tell us how you are going to work with those 6 months to do something that did not work with the last 3 SGs. Then another thing, tell us how unique this collaboration with NGOs is that is going to make it combat the issue of insecurity that we are having now.
Thank you so much, and that is a very important concern. With regards to
Just wait, you'll answer when the power is back.
Sure.
Thank you. I can be heard now. Thank you. With regards to whether it will work and the fact that it was indeed proposed by other SGs, I am confident, not because of 100% realization, but because in my tenure, I believe if I can start the initiative, even if it is halfway or let's say 70% done, it is something that can still be taken up. First, I was privileged to talk to one guy who happens to own an NGO which funds some of these issues. And I believe he can also be able to come through and also provide other partners who can also liaise with the school on the same. So with regards to whether it will work, I believe let's give it time. You shall see for yourself.
Yeah, Zarina, thank you. I think we are done with you. Yeah. So I think we can proceed to the next candidate. Oh, sorry. I don't know if there is two people in the public who may have questions. Yeah, only two people, please. Can I have some? Thank you.
Hi, Zarina.
Hi.
Okay, thank you. I believe most of the activities that you are going to participate as a SG requires communication, whereby communication is the vital key on them. So I would like, the African Nazarene student would like to know what kind of structured communication system that you are going to employ that will ensure a timely and clear updates. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We
Indeed.
have one. We have one.
Oh, okay.
On my question, personally, I think you are only one person, and we are considering time. I think the panelist, Buana, you are supposed to consider time because rain will rain here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Under the Constitution, indeed, the SG is the one in charge of communications between the students and the council and the management. Now, the same Constitution also provides
having an independent body, I plan to ensure that I have a different budget committee, which is going to be represented by students from not only one school but different schools, so that the diversity increases and that it's not basically biased. And the committee will help me in making financial decisions, which I plan to implement. On the other question, you asked about what if the administration delays approval, and what are the concrete strategies I have in place. I believe when I do get into office and planning on the budgeting, I'll set aside a contingency plan, which will have money in case of such issues arise. And even if they do, I'll have to organize an immediate planning with the executive committee, so that we can categorize which activities are in need and which ones are wants, so that we may base on those who we may base our planning on currently the ones that are of priority and urgency. And even if they do delay, I can also plan on I'm also planning on seeking sponsorships and partnerships to reduce on the cost, and maybe managing funding some of the funding the activities. On the other question was about sustainability. And when you think about sustainability, it's just about what not.
Excuse me. Perhaps we can allow her to answer questions without interrupting. Allow her to answer.
So going back to your question about sustainability, when you think of sustainability, is what you do that will not just only cater for now, but you're also thinking of the future. I plan on when I'm creating the events, I plan on doing responsible allocation, so that when I'm doing the budgeting, even the funds can be able to last longer, not just for the now. And also, I can also put the contingency planning into the sustainability part, so that it can be used in the areas or cases when funds aren't enough. And on the third question was when pitching to partners and partnerships, and what we have to offer back to them. I believe there's a current, I've talked to the current treasurer, and there's an ongoing partnership with Britam. And with that, we can offer them visibility, may be known by the students. And with the partnerships, we can also I can also identify partners whose values align with the current council and the needs. Also, with the accountability, not really, with the pitching of the proposals, I'd plan to do sponsorship proposals that aim on benefiting the students, as well as benefiting the sponsors who are one partner with us, and also do strategic partnerships with organizations which are of good value and the values align with the students. On the last question, you asked about what.
One, two. Mic test.
As I was saying, something that is in my manifesto that is hard to achieve, I believe that when you put, nothing is hard to achieve when you put the work into it and you believe that you can achieve it. But what I can say is in my manifesto is the partnerships and the organizations. Of course, some may disagree and all, but it's better to do something than nothing, right? Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, we shall ask follow-up questions. Excuse me. Thank you. We shall ask follow-up questions, and then you shall expeditiously answer them at a go. And I will start, and then my fellow panelists will ask, then we'll answer all of them at a go. Now, my question is in regards to Associ. There are many students who feel, and that question is directed to all of you, there are many students who feel that previously they have been unfairly left out in regards to Associ. How do you plan to address that and to ensure that all students who are deserving to get those scholarships actually get those scholarships, and those allegations that have been there that Associ has been given in regards to who knows who, that those allegations shall not be in your regime and you shall be able to address those issues?
Well, Isaac, Kwewi, relax. Now, I have a general question. Both candidates for treasurer position, you've provided us with very wonderful composition and thesis in the name of manifesto. So actually, you win it on paper. But now, I constantly hear you mentioning big words like proposals, partners. But now, I have this question. What is the unique way you are going to use to engage with these partners and also when making these proposals? Because practically speaking, we've had activities in school. For example, the Green Week that we had last 2 or 3 weeks or so. And the turnout when it comes to partnership that you are talking about, it really did not work out. So what are you guys coming up in a unique way that is going to help us raise funds? Then another thing, the previous regime, we saw they were trying to raise money during the Associ dinner in a very analog way, like trying to create cards, you see, you buy them then for entry, which is also good. But now, you see, that cannot work because students alone, when you tell them anything to do with the money, they are not going to come in. So, like, how are you going to do this?
Abby, you mentioned that nothing is hard to achieve. And do you think by you saying nothing is challenging might come across as underestimating the complexity of the role you want to take? And also, you mentioning nothing is hard to achieve. Could you clarify what systems you will put in place to ensure everything runs smoothly despite the known challenges?
All right. For me, I feel like this one is to you, Abby. On terms of sustainability, you're talking about the law exists, the funds are there. Speaking from the docket I'm currently occupying, that's not the case. I would like for you to address that quite clearly. And further, to add on, you put forward in your manifesto that it will be very student-centered, student-attached. Okay? All right. Just give me a second. All right. You said that every financial decision genuinely puts students first. what is your definition of students first in practical terms? Do we mean like maximum event funding, long-term investments in facilities, or do you mean something else? And when you talk about the students being in transparency with your system, does that necessarily mean that the transparency will be on everything, even on the matters that are not supposed to be shared with them?
To Abigail, as we were listening to you, you mentioned something about partnering with Britam, and that was a partnership that was based on the previous regime. Now, what is your partnership, what if their contrast was for that particular time? Do you have your own partnership in mind, or are you just banking on the previous regime's partnership? And to the both of you, you've mentioned about liaising with the school's finance system. How do you plan to do this when the school's finance department tells you that you have to wait? Then will your plans take a stand, or how will you manage that?
So please make quick responses because of time.
To answer the first question, you were asking about the Associ.
Isaac, please. Let allow them to answer their questions. Yes, we understand. And by making noise, you are not allowing them to proceed. Yes, thank you. We can proceed, please.
To answer your first question, you asked about the Associ initiative, and some students felt left out. I believe I first want to comment on the current council on bringing back the Associ initiative, and I believe that financial constraints shouldn't come between students and their education. And with this, I'll ensure that when we're giving out money or like sponsorships to the students, we were going to base our eligibility based on the criteria, the grades, and how needy are you, so that we can give the most, so that we may give the most to those who are in need and those who want it urgently. And we'll also be able to do the communications widely, so that everyone can be able to know that there's Associ going on, and no one can feel left out. To the other question was, what's one unique way to engage with partners? I believe that when partners are seeking an institution, they want something in return. As I said, we can give them visibility, and we can visibility and something in return, just partnering with them. And you asked about unique ways to help us raise funds. I believe that we can think of some things like runs, organizing runs, so that students can be able to turn up for the runs, and even we can get money from the runs. And even when you're organizing the Associ, we can seek partners and people who with able money who are interested in funding our schools. You asked about the Associ again with regards with the money and students not being able to come because of the money, they ran away. I'd say that we can reduce the money for comrades because they are students, and even deal with discounts for students, and which that was the last question. Yeah, I believe that was it.
Thank you.
To my first question in regards to the Associ, and I believe first that this school has been the student council with the previous regimes have been coming up with ideas that they just don't really come up to fruit, and this is because what I came to learn, I as a fellow student, most students don't even know about this about these arrangements that the student council have. So the first thing I will do is communication. When we have the funds, I'll communicate to the students, give them a forum where they can sign up and they fill up the criteria where in which that the most needy students can get the funds first. The second question is, how can I uniquely engage partners? For a partner to, for a student or for the student organization to pull in a partner, we need to have, we need to come into a compromise. We need to understand what am I bringing to the table as the one who is giving out the proposal, and what are they bringing to the table to us at the school. So when we come to an understanding, and genuinely, there's always more chances. We can do more drafts. We can come up with more partners. We do not really necessarily have to depend on the ones that we have. Okay, how can we increase the funds? Because the Associ dinner was using some. They're using the tickets. The tickets they're using the tickets to look for funds. So first, what I feel is that our fellow students who are capable, they need to understand that there are other students out here who are not able to even stand today. Kuna wenye hawajakula. Exactly. And
Can we please have some order, please, because of time? Let us have some order from the audience.
What I believe is charity begins at home. What I believe is charity begins at home. We as students who are capable, we can try to bring in some funds. Then we go and look out for sponsors. Then we try with the alumni. There are always countless and numerous ways where we can come through with the funds. I was also asked that I said there is no challenge. Am I underestimating this role of treasury? No, I am not underestimating it. I put very much respect into this seat. This is why I'm in this podium. Okay, and the systems that I will put in place. First of all, I will make sure that every single asset is well allocated. That's why my manifesto is mainly about transparency and accountability. I have nothing to hide. There's nothing that the executive council or the dean or the finance office feel that I have not fulfilled in my part as a treasurer. That's why I'm not underestimating it. I have fully understood the roles. I've read the constitution. I know the procedures to it, and I'm going to go with it accordingly. Sorry.
Can we please check on time?
Yeah, so, my manifesto is student-centered. So what does that mean? Students really do take part in a lot of things, but we need to check on those that are in urgent or are immediate. There is no way I can plan for an event and there's a student out here who is hungry. I need to check on this first. Thank you. I think I'm done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Because of time, we won't be having questions coming from the audience. We are going to move on to the next session. So to have the presidential candidates together with their vice presidential candidates taking the podium. So let's welcome the presidential candidates, Ryan, Crispinas,
Ladies and gentlemen, please allow us to continue with our...
Comrades, because of time and because of the weather, tafadhali, if you are not a candidate assisting the candidates with the umbrellas, tafadhali tutoke kwa stage. Kama usaidii candidates with the umbrellas, tutoke kwa stage tafadhali.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The candidates can begin.
Thank you. Because of time, I will try to limit myself in the questions that I will ask. My first question, I will direct it to our presidential candidate known as Karume. Karume, you are the incumbent SG of the school. And I went through your manifesto, your last year's manifesto. And from your last year's manifesto, on page 5, you had promised that many students have really been affected by unit registration. Some units are not assigned to lecturers and they are not on offer when required. You had promised that last year. And then today, you still have the same promise in regards to unit selection. What makes you think that you will be able to fulfill that promise, yet while you are in government, you are not able to answer that question? Number two, still to our presidential candidate Karume, in regards to transport. You have said that all the attachees within Nairobi, they shall be given transport services by the school. You shall make such recommendations. Now my question is, what of other attachees who are not within Nairobi? Don't you consider them as well? Then lastly, to our candidate Karume, you said that on page 8 actually, in your manifesto for the last year, you said that there will be a visit a comrade initiative, where you shall be visiting the comrades once in a while. Now my question is, why is it that you have not been able to accomplish that? My other question is to Ryan. My other question is to our presidential candidate known as Ryan. Ryan, you have in your manifesto said that there will be subsidy programs for all the students who are needy and they want food. For instance, the chapati prices, the rice prices. Now my question is, for an organization such as Trizabel, for them to come up with such prices, let's say chapati, they sell it at 30 shillings. For them to come up with such prices, it means they have considered the cost of production, and for them to make profit, they can only sell it at 30 shillings. What is this that you envisage doing to ensure that those subsidies will be implemented, and where will you get such resources?
So you can answer and then you can answer. Yeah.
I respond.
Yeah.
Okay. Comrades, silence so I speak to you. Thank you. The question that has been directed to me is on the first part of my manifesto, which is the student welfare. One of the key elements of student welfare is the fact that we need food, right? And it's disheartening that we've had it at expensive prices. Chapati going at 30 bob. A small piece of chicken going at 120. What I'm going to do, which I will respond, I've suggested subsidy programs. And how we are going to arrive at this, silence comrades, how we are going to arrive at this, one, of course, Trizabel, it is foreseeable that they'll say the cost of production is what leads to this, right? But what we need to do first, there are many producers who give these raw materials that they need to process the food. So one thing that the school will do in collaboration, of course, with the student council, is to identify where this Trizabel or any other service provider can get these goods at cheap prices so they don't have to overprice the food. Other than that, let me respond. Other than that panel, we're going to suggest alternative eateries. If Trizabel cannot reduce the prices, then we're going to introduce another service provider so that it competes with them. Other than that, we're going to suggest to the school administration, seeing that we are empowered to do the same, to go ahead and have the school establish eateries outside the gate, so that even comrades themselves can open those places and sell even chapati at 20 bob. And the school will make money out of this. That is a solution to that. Thank you.
Yes, I think he has adequately answered the question. Now, Karume, you can proceed.
Thank you for the questions. And it is indeed true, and I acknowledge that I did promise unit registration to be efficient. And just to assure you, comrades are on session, right? So unit registration has been happening. People are learning. That means they registered for their units. But there is a gap such that the admin did not manage with a fully online registration system. And that is what you are going to address to ensure that the registration is fully online and that each unit a comrade registered for is available. And again, as a council, this is what we've done. We've ensured that any comrade who comes forth and says, I've registered for this unit and it's not on offer, we've pushed each department to ensure the units are availed for them. Lecturers are employed. Case scenario, visit schools, visit Mascom, for example, where I study. We have a new lecturer who came on board just to ensure that comrades have to take all the units they registered for. So unit registration, it is ongoing. It happens as it should be. But there are some gaps which we'll address. Visitor comrade. Visitor comrade, I'm on it. Who deserves visitor comrade? The very, very deserving students who intended to visit. Now, on the gaps that existed or the challenges we faced is the funding. And let me explain this from a point of information. The student council kitty receives 400 shillings per student every semester. If you total that and think of it as a student council, you can only think of cultural week planning. That is why in my manifesto I'm suggesting, and I'll make sure this happens, an increment of the student council kitty by at least a double. That will give the student council a chance to implement. If it's visitor comrade, it's done. Now to answer your question, every student who deserved visitor comrade, even though we had financial challenges, I made sure they have benefited from scholarship. By forwarding the list to the financial aid committees, they have been benefiting. I made sure that the scholarship, the hostel scholarship we have pushed for, they are getting, and if you, for dignity, for human dignity, I won't mention names here, but there are students having emails of benefiting from the hostel scholarship. Come to it, think of it like this. Again, we have the feeder comrade that is ongoing. For very, very deserving students, they are there. I will provide receipts immediately after this. So comrades, feeder comrade is ongoing and it's benefiting those students who needed to benefit from visitor comrade. What was the intention of visitor comrade? It was to support them with meals, was to support them with money that they can pay their rent with. So someone is benefiting from a hostel scholarship in school. Someone is benefiting from the Feed a Comrade program. So I've solved the problem without the funds that we needed to have to visit students. Lastly, at my personal level as SG, in my capacity, I've attempted and I've done support to students who deserve. Yes. Lastly, on attachment, we did an attempt, and I can laugh about this because when we got into office, that was our agenda number one. I remember we and the president were rushing up and down, trying to get the quotations of how much it costs. It seemed impossible by then because students were insisting they cannot pay 100 shillings. But right now, because of the experience I have in the council, we'll plan early and ensure the university provides subsidies for that, and the school bus will be availed. Comrades will get to town and back. Even those who are not going within town will find a way of sorting them out, and they won't struggle with attachment transport charges. Thank you.
A quick follow-up question on a quick follow-up question. A quick follow-up question in regards to finding a way for other students who are outside Nairobi. What is that you want to do about the students? For instance, if you are attached in Bungoma, how will that attachee in Bungoma benefit from this initiative or elsewhere in Kenya?
So for now, this initiative will highly benefit the people around who go to attachment within CBD. Comrades understand that for you to go to Bungoma, on the university's end, it's a disadvantage to a comrade because you have to pay extra fees even. So we will also try to ensure most comrades get attachment opportunities. If you check our manifesto, the Comrades Manifesto, we will get student opportunities in industries, in farms, in organizations for attachment. In partnership with those organizations, case scenario, high schools. High schools provide attachment for education teachers. We'll ask them a partnership that the school can pay something for their attachees to get host accommodation within the institutions, and that is a very high. That has a high possibility because most high schools they have accommodation for teachers.
Yes. Thank you so much. Silence, silence, silence. Silence, silence, silence. Let us try to keep calm so that we continue the process quickly. Now, my first question will go to Chris. Then afterwards, I'll ask Mr. Ryan the question. Now, Chris, I have just opposed your manifestos. Just opposing. That's simple for you, right? comparing, and I realized there is a share of ideas, and this gives me the vibes of the parable of the the parable of the talents, right? So I have a feeling that you are that third servant that was entrusted with a talent. Hello? Hello? Are we going to keep quiet? Stay calm. Stay calm. Stay calm. Higher, higher, higher. Now, this gives the comrades the vibes of the third servant that was entrusted with a responsibility that never delivers. Now, this brings me to two questions. Now, just very quickly. First one is on performance versus evidence. Now, can you provide specific measurable outcome from your time as SG? For example, policies changed, number of grievances resolved, or improvements implemented, rather than repeating promises in your current presidential manifesto. That is the first question. Then the second is on, of course, trust and credibility. So it goes, why should students trust you current promises as a president when similar commitments made during your tenure as SG were not fully delivered or are still recurring issues today? You can go first, then I'll answer Mr. Ryan later.
Yes, and here I go. Bwana Matiko and to all comrades, the current council has worked. This is evidence. Previously, we had only scholarships directed to basketball, right? Right now, we have scholarships that are in progress, and we are yet to see them. We are going to see them very soon. And just to mention, a month ago you saw the football coach advertising for sports scholarship. That is something that our current council has pushed for. This is very important because we'll have opportunities to scout players. You've faced the challenge. I'm playing for the school team, if you know. The school team has less players just because we have a scouting gap. But if you have scholarships, that will ensure that all the school team is equipped with the right players from different talent groups. Let's say academies from high schools, and they join Nazarene and they benefit. Number two, talk of Trizabel. Trizabel as a cafe, according to the contract they put with the university, there are some challenges we face in addressing some things because their contract, one, says that they cannot get a competitor within their regime, within their time. Because we didn't achieve that, we went to address the issue of the students' money remaining at Trizabel. And this is what we solved it with. We ensured we bring in a COOP card system, whereby COOP card system, you know of it, right? COOP card system allows students to swipe anywhere. If a student feels that this food at Trizabel today is not good for me, they'll go to the supermarket and swipe for snacks. They'll go to the hotel and swipe for food. They can even buy soap with their card. So that was a solution we brought in to address students' funds remaining in the school when they are not spending their money. Number three, university visibility. Let me tell you, visibility is very important for the university. We've tried, and that one, as SG, in my own capacity, I've ensured that we've given students a chance to express themselves through media, and when it mattered most, for example, when a student was attacked and there was an insecurity issue, I made sure that that issue is televised and it reached the very relevant authorities. That is the national government, who came in, and we now have an approved street light project that is going to be implemented very soon. Number four, mobilization and communication. Student communication, the SG is in charge of that. Have I not done communication? Have I not mobilized students for events? Students have showed up for events. A good case, Associ dinner. A good case when you had campus kickoff here, and those events have been a success. Lastly, because of time maybe, right? Associ dinner is back. Associ dinner is back. And next time, we are going to make it bigger and better. We are going to start it early enough, ensure we have something like Run for a Cause, which is the launch of Associ. And throughout a period, let's say a window of 5 months or 6, we have contributions, we have selling of Associ merchandise, which contributes to the Associ kitty. And then we finalize it with Associ dinner. And in that, again, we'll partner with the University Church of Nazarene, which has good members who have been contributing to Nazarene scholarships. They'll bring in enough funds to support the Associ dinner. So that is a comparison of what I've done and what I've promised. And I believe that that plan is very deliberate and is going to address each and every student's issues.
Thank you so much, Mr. Green. Just a quick follow-up. Of course, I give flowers to where they deserve. On matters communication, I think the emails, there are so many emails, so that is well done. But now, you mentioned something on COP cards. Now, I'm trying to imagine a situation whereby this cooperative card, of course, if it is, how is it beneficial to the students, or how is it making, like, how is it improving the challenges that they are facing as students? Because I think that is just something for efficiency at the cafeteria. So if you clarify that one, I'll be happy. Then another one is regarding scholarships. You talked about scholarships, especially sports, and best, of course, I know more about this school. So my knowledge is most of these scholarships, they are sourced by the coaches. So now, if you'll make me understand the relationship between now what the student council is doing to source these students that need these scholarships vis-a-vis what the administration is doing, because I don't see that. Then another one is communication and mobilization for events. Okay, you gave an answer. Of course, I always see your emails. But now my concern is, let me use an example for the Green Week that we had. And there was a very low turnout there, and people were not there. There was no participation. And what about it? Because according to you, in your world, like you've mobilized people. And if your mobilization leads to that, now tell us, as a president, what will it lead to?
So you're allowing me to answer very fast. Scholarships, I think you're wrong on that. Scholarships are sourced by the administration and the student council in their capacity. What I know, for example, basketball has someone who gives them scholarship. So we have pushed the university to do the same for other sports, football, rugby. Handball has even been advertised. It had died. We advertised it. Students have signed up, and we are going to have rugby from May semester. So scholarships sources they're not from coaches. They can try maybe if they have, but they are from the university. Number two, COP card. It's not only about efficiency. It's all about, again, solving the challenges. Previously, we had challenges of people who maybe someone has had an engagement that has left them, had made them to leave the school during the weekend. When they come back on Monday, they have not spent like 1,000 shillings at the cafe. That money used to go to waste like that. But with the COP card system, the student can spend that money somewhere else. Isn't that a solution? It is a solution. On communication, I agree that we have not got it right on restoring the patriotism among the student body, the vibrance as well. And my plan is to involve students even in planning of events. That is the gap, the planning of events, so that they feel involved and they'll show up definitely. Thank you.
All right, so I think most of my colleagues have asked the questions that I was going to ask to Chris. Let me move on to Ryan and Milan. So I only have 2 questions for Ryan and 1 question for Milan. So my first question, I'm coming back to the issue of food and affordability. Sam and the rest kindly. Yeah, thank you. So you, in your manifesto, you said that you will come up with a program of, you will bring a university farm to bring food prices down, which is a good idea, and I appreciate. But we need also to understand that a farm doesn't feed a hungry student today. And while the seeds are still in the ground, what is your plan for the student who is keeping lunch right now because the cafeteria is simply too expensive? And you can agree with me that you still have 1 year. And in 1 year, you can't promise that with that program of a farm, you can come and maybe solve that problem immediately. So my second question is about the exam access fees. You say no student should be locked out of an exam because of unpaid fees. And honestly, it's something that most of us here have been in. Like, it's a situation where we've experienced, I think, majority of us. And my question, as a student leader, have you, you can agree that your predecessors have been advocating for this issue before, and it's something that they have been talking about, and you can agree that it's not something easy to change. So what do you think can make you different, or what do you think that that thing that you can change, or you can come up with, so this issue can be changed? So for Milan, when you were presenting yourself, you said that you are an international student, and I congratulate you for that. Yeah, in your manifesto about the international student, you said that you'll be represented, like the international student will be represented in event planning committees, and that you will organize embassy workshops. However, as an international student, and not only and other students here, we can see the challenges that we've been going through, and it's not something that what can I say? The embassy workshop that can solve those issues. Let me talk about them. I'm talking about the academic issues, such as the discontinued units, resolved course planners errors, and students being delayed from graduating through no fault of their own. So do you think that the embassy workshop actually address this problem? So what is your specific plan to fix the academic pipeline issues affecting international students and other students here at ANU? Thank you.
My first question goes to Ryan. Ryan, in your manifesto, you mentioned that you will stop MN classes and you will transition them to, you will stop MN classes and you'll transition them to DL classes. So, with regards to the student's handbook concerning classes, how exactly do you plan to foresee this transition, and how will you balance that with some of the issues that this school has concerning shortages of lecturers? And then the next question is, you mentioned something about biometric system for the hostels. So is this under your docket, or is it under the school's management docket? For Chris, in your manifesto, you pledged that you will hasten the help disbursement to the student. So in the event that this is a system that is beyond you, how do you plan? What are the steps that you plan to take to foresee the smooth running of your promise in this manifesto? Again, as per the student's handbook, concerning the special exams, in your manifesto you mentioned that you will withdraw the fees that is being charged for one to sit for special exams. How exactly do you plan to do this, regarding that this is a stipulated guideline in our students' handbook? How exactly do you plan to liaise with the office of the finance department? Sorry. Concerning the transport program of the attachees, considering that you were also in the previous regime and you faced the issue of shortage of attachees, and therefore you were not able to put these into practice. So in the event that this same issue reoccurs, what will you do about it? Thank you.
You can tackle those questions first.
Okay. Thank you for your questions. I'm going to respond to all of them. So, first question was from Banga John. You said that what is the practicability of having a university farm? Actually, if you read through, you'll find that that's not the only solution we've proposed. Other than subsidies, where we are going to engage Trizabel and the administration, so that if at all the agreement provides that expenses are as so, then those can be repealed, right? Other than that, on the university farm, we are not only looking at things we can do within a year. We can also start a process that goes on even after we've gone. Like the lady who brought about Associ. We can't say really it benefited people at that particular time. It has gone expenses. When we here have the solve that, then we are failing at our mandate. I think that responds to your concern. Secondly, on exam access fee, it saddens me that a person who who has arrears, do not get to sit for exams, right? And that then means they come and do a special exam in the new year, and they have to pay this. Now, imagine this, yeah? This student did not have an ability to pay his fees in time. And now you're asking them to make another payment as special fees. What happens to that money that was not spent on the exam, seeing that they did not do the exam? So how we can cure this really is come up with payment plans, where this student commits to paying these fees at a certain period of time, and how this can be mitigated to ensure that the university also is not put at a disadvantage. We can have them not see their results up until they make that payments as per the payment plan. The other question that I was asked is that, what are you going to do differently, seeing that all these have been proposed in the past? Our manifesto those classes that we've registered as physical students are not turned into virtual classes. Because one thing, even the international community, I was having an engagement with John Balibanga, And I don't know, he told me he has, out of 7 units, he's doing 5 online. Yeah, that for me is not right, because why will you leave your home country to come and study in the hostel, you see? That robs you a chance to engage with these students, to even understand their culture, same as the rest from the local country. And so, you all should agree with me that we should end moving MN classes to DL classes. Another thing, a question was raised with regards to hostel access. You'll agree with me that most of these processes are manually done, like moving out of the hostel. You have to write, in the 21st century, you have to write a book so that you walk outside. At an international university, for that matter. And so the proposal is, we ought to have biometrics. I mean, in my high school, we had these things. Why don't we have it in an institution of higher learning? And so, she also asked whether this is in my prerogative as the president of the students. Actually, the Universities Act empowers me to give proposals to the administration, to the welfare of the students. And so, the school really having an engagement with me will arrive at a consensus to have these systems move into digital forms. That even comes to the hostel booking as well. I've had a chance to work as a student mentor, and I've heard a parent lament that they've been given a regular hostel when in truth they booked an ensuite, right? But then they have been given a lesser one, right? So what we can do really, we can transition this to a digital booking system, seeing that the manual system brings about cases of favoritism, and even cases where a parent has to lament that, why has my child gone to that Zana and not Cashman as they booked? So that, in truth, is not something that the administration can turn down. This has been informed by the concerns of these students, because really I did not make a decision to go into this position without considering the needs of the students. And so, comrades, this plan is to make your welfare. This plan is for you, to ensure that your welfare is well catered for. I believe I've answered all the questions.
Yes, you have answered all the questions. Now, I have an additional question to our vice presidents so that they can answer them. As vice presidents, the ANU constitution clearly stipulates that you shall head the security committee. Yesterday, I had complaints of some students who said that their personal effects had been stolen, their clothes were stolen from the hanging line. And when they reported to the relevant authorities, there were a lot of bureaucracy, tediously so. They were told, oh, for you to access the CCTV footage, you must write a letter to the chief, then the chief shall liaise with the dean, then the dean shall liaise with the VC. There is a lot of bureaucracy. Now, how do you envisage tackling this bureaucracy so that if your item is stolen, you can easily go and access the CCTV footage and know the exact person that stole your item? Lastly, to allow my fellow panelists, to our president, this will be a yes or no. In mature democracies, we have seen, in the event where a president has been unable to fulfill his promises in the manifesto, they usually resign. Would you consider resigning in the event that you are unable to achieve those that you have set in your manifesto? Thank you.
So, hello. Silence. Maybe for clarification, silence. Maybe for clarification, is the theft that happened in the university or outside?
The cases in the universities, in the Europe and in the UK, the US, where actually presidents from the university have resigned in the event they have been unable to accomplish what is in their manifestos.
Actually, that was not my question. You said that there was cases of theft, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I was asking whether it was in school or outside.
Oh, it was within school.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good evening, candidates. To take you back a bit, first to Ryan. Okay, you in your manifesto, you're talking about. Oh? All right. Bringing back organizing career fairs, soft training skills, like engagement, empowerment, and inter-university club partners. With that, can I assume the return of Coursera and other like different avenues on the same? And in a final question, should you in administration face any resistance from the school administration in any of your manifestos and in implementing them? This is a question to you both. How will you then tackle it to ensure that the students' needs are met for you are there to represent us? Then to Mr. Karume, going through your manifesto, in a way, it seems the feasibility is out and the dream is in. Several questions have been asked of you on the same, and I would like to ask another one. Okay, first, you commit to securing automatic internships and attachments, slots per intake by visiting companies. You have given the examples of schools, they need teachers, but then you've not given us a realistic target on how then you will ensure this comes to be specific industries that are already identified and willing to partner with us. Let it not be dreams that we are fed and there's no realization. Your manifesto also talks about you propose making hostel booking purely online to eliminate favoritism. Isn't this segregating the new students who will be coming in or students who face internet access challenges? There is the whole purpose of duality in accessing these systems. Then how will you address these technical infrastructure issues? Do you have any contingency plans in place? And lastly, you propose to push for 24-hour clinic operations. Currently, the clinic operations as it stands with limited hours is due to staffing shortages. Will you then advocate for hiring additional medical staff? Will you then go for increasing university costs, or will you advocate for mandatory overtime for existing staff? Which approach and how will you fund or negotiate these? And in terms of security plans, you have stated how you partnered with in your capacity as the SG with Kenya Power to ensure that there is lighting. Then you're talking about collaborations with KWS, the police, and county government. These all are bureaucratic entities with competing priorities. Can you name one specific contract or existing MOU in any of these organizations that gives you the confidence this coordination is achievable or that these partnerships are aspirational? Thank you.
I think we should allow the vice presidents to first give their input, then eventually our presidents shall take the stage.
Thank you for your question. I think the question was on student goods being stolen and the CCTV to be accessed. They are given a number of processes to go through so that they may access the CCTV. It's very unfortunate that our students' goods was stolen. As a member, as the head of the security committee, as the vice president, I will ensure that I appoint members. I will ensure that I appoint members who will strengthen the security, and also I will liaise with the offices to ensure that the CCTV can be accessed. I mean, it's your right to see where your goods had gone to. Is it not? I will ensure that. Thank you.
I think I'll start with Balibanga's questions. The inclusion of international students with events. This will help also the international students not to feel left out. To also avoid the biasness, if that makes sense. Example, in events like the Mr. and Miss Nazarene, I think to avoid also, again, the biasness, the international students should be part of the judges, the planning committee, considering they are participating, having just the local students, that's just Kenyan students, international students would feel left out, would feel like the decisions that were made or the judgment that was made out of biasness. You've asked about the embassy workshops. That's mainly to help international students with opportunities, especially internships and attachments. Because again, this is where also people get jobs. You might go for attachment somewhere, you might get recommended somewhere for attachment or internship, and they like your work and actually hire you. So I think that would help international students with opportunities. Considering you're in a new country, it's a little bit hard to secure some opportunities. Yeah. You've asked the question on security, things being stolen in school and the bureaucracy with getting the videos.
Access to the CCTV.
Access to the CCTV cameras. I think for me, I would work together with the directors of security that are chosen, the hostel leaders, but also I myself pushing it with the student services officers to make sure that to cut off that bureaucracy with accessing the videos. So pushing, letting just one person push it, I think it's not efficient. So I myself, together with the people that are concerned with that, that's the hostel leaders and the directors involved, especially the welfare one, working together with the student services officers would be of great help.
Thank you. If there are no follow-up questions for the Vice President, okay.
Yes, it's not a question, but it's just a reminder, and I would like maybe to hear from you and maybe talk to these people. We are all aware about, allow me to call it a conflict between international student and local student. Yeah, thank you. There is this conflict between local and international students. I don't want to say Kenyan. Thank you, Isaac. Let me say Kenyan. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. So, because of, let me call it misunderstanding, because sometimes if you go and ask one international student, they will tell you maybe we are not approaching Kenyan students, maybe because we found they are like this. And if you go look for a Kenyan student and ask that person, why are you not approaching, they will give you the same reason. I'm not asking this because I've asked it before. So what's your message to bring all like these two communities together? Because we are all one community, a new student. It's not all about Kenyan students or international students, but we are first ANU students. And what we are trying to say is, what's your message? I'm actually asking this question for both of you. If you can talk to maybe this one international student or this one Kenyan student who is here and maybe has that idea of, I don't want to talk to this community because they are like this. And maybe they might be wrong, but we never know. So what's your message to them? I'm asking for to both of you. So yeah, thank you. Anyone who would like to answer? Yeah.
One minute for your answer. Okay, to the deputies. Sir, can you move? Acha ajibu na hivi.
Okay, let me start. We're all new students, and I personally believe every student has equal rights, and there is nobody who is more important than the other. So international students, including myself, we should not get tired of approaching like the Kenyan students and trying to make friends and forming relationships with them. It's very easy to judge someone. It's very easy to judge someone based off one encounter with them, or seeing their encounter with someone else, or just hearing what other people are saying. So putting ourselves out there, also reducing if you're more than one person coming from a particular country, and always sticking together and not hanging out with the Kenyan students, it increases, it intensifies that I cannot approach a Kenyan student. So I think we ourselves also should work on overcoming that fear of and also the point I've said about the inclusion of international students, that would help. Again, they'll feel like we're being included, so these people are accepting us as one of their own. So I think that would also help. And with Kenyan students, again, I've talked about not judging someone from appearance or what you've heard or what you've seen. Actually, go talk to someone. Talk to someone and ask questions and, I don't know, get to know someone. I've been in that situation, so what I'm saying, it has worked for me. So again, you can try it. Everything works different for everyone, but that's what worked for me.
Okay, on the question on international students, the conflict, our manifesto pushes for inclusivity. Yes, I want to remove the term international students. We are all students. We are here for higher holistic education, for higher holistic education. We all share the same struggles. We will collaborate with ANUISA so that we integrate the international students. You also mentioned on the events like the Green Week, where international students did not participate. We will ensure that all students, whether international or Kenyan, have the opportunity to participate in all events. Yes.
I think I have some questions to answer here from various panelists. Number one, help disbursements. I talked about it in our manifesto, and we made an attempt that was successful in visiting help offices and reminding them that our students have not yet got their help, and that was during an examination period. And they indeed promised that the help funds will be disbursed. That's when we requested the university to allow students to do exam, and they did, and the help came in the December holiday. Number two, to address that help issue again, we have scholarships, which will benefit these people who will be having struggles. And those scholarships will ensure that no one who really deserves it misses it. For example, Associ is a student council or student scholarship, whereby Associ is a student scholarship whereby the student council determines the criteria. I know for other scholarship there's a criteria that like GPA, which I could use the word victimizes other students who may have gotten a low GPA because of some reasons here and there. But the Associ, we will allow students, so long as they deserve it and are committed in their studies, they will get the Associ, and then their financial struggles will be solved. About that again, we'll advocate for forums that educate students on help disbursement and the help applying processes. That includes the first years who have come in. On special exams, I was asked, and the handbook puts it clear. It puts it clear that if the reasons are valid, the student is allowed to request for a waiver of the special exam fee. It is in the handbook. So we will ensure that students who miss exam maybe because of sickness that couldn't be prevented, maybe sometimes technical issues that are acknowledged, they will be allowed a waiver. On transport, the simple answer is it won't happen again. With the experience I have, early planning, and actually we have informed the Alumni and Careers Office, which is in charge of preparing students for attachment, and they are very ready to come in and support this process so that students get attachment transport. I was asked a yes or no question, but I won't answer yes or no. The answer I'll give is that Karume works, Karume will work, and Karume won't have to resign because he will work. Just to mention, organizations like KCB they are now offering automatic attachment for our students. So we'll just ensure that process is continued. TV47, where I did my attachment, they are providing automatic attachment opportunities. KBC, yes. And lastly, on registration or booking of hostels, we want it to go back to fully online to save students from booking for a room and they don't get the room they ask for. About segregation, no segregation, because one, will allow a long window. Let's say we'll book hostel from this semester until next semester. So students have a chance, have enough time to book for a hostel. First years will be taken care of by the Student Services Office and they'll get the required rooms. Thank you.
Okay. Silence, comrades, silence. There's a question that was asked about will you consider resigning if at all you don't satisfy the expectation that you've presented. So one thing, silence. So one thing that we've seen in as much as we are a democratic country, what we've witnessed in Africa is failure of leaders to resign in the event that they do not fulfill their manifestos. But then, what I assure you, comrades, the creation of this manifesto is informed of actionable ideas. And there will be no need for me to resign for any reason, really. If at all there is gross misconduct, seeing that I do not plan to commit any, then I don't see a need to resign. Silence. Cecilia.
Kindly, allow him.
Silence.
Allow him to answer questions.
Silence. So, Cecilia asked on what I think about the career fairs that I've suggested. I believe even the internships that has been mentioned, we can get them really through inviting these companies, friends of this institution, to come and set up even boot camps on career days, so that they have an engagement with the students on the opportunities that exist. And in that way, silence. In that way, okay, thank you. So in that way, we get to give opportunities to these students. So that has been done before in other jurisdictions, and we're going to do it here in Africa Nazarene. I think I've answered all the questions asked of me.
Thank you for those responses. Now we shall allow 4 questions from the audience, and please observe gender balance. 4 questions from the audience. Don't scramble for the mic, please. Don't scramble for the mic.
For the purposes of fairness, we will give 2 questions from this side, 2 questions from this side.
Yeah, yes? Okay, allow me to ask the question. Why can't I... Okay.
Order, please. Please, order, because of time. Kenyakiza, proceed.
My first question goes to... Okay. My first question goes to Chris. Karume. So you guys wait, I ask the question.
Please, this is democracy. Allow him to ask questions. You'll also have an opportunity to ask. Be expeditious.
So, Chris, you've laid down a proper model that you've been following, yeah? You've really analyzed your experience, and so you've shown how you've spearheaded Associ. That's number 1. You've shown how you've worked through the COP card. That's number 2.
Just ask the question. Don't mind the interruption. Just ask the question.
And we see that Cultural Week has come on, yeah, and we can actually prove it's working. Now, why, particularly from your opposers, yeah, these guys are really putting the blame on things that have not worked. So you are the bearers of that. So what do you think probably you can do in your tenure as the president to ensure that the blame is not left on maybe your council members, because you are clearly carrying the blame and the credit's not going to you. So what are you going to do to ensure your deputy doesn't receive the blame in future? And now to Ryan. your track record is exemplary. Wait, guys. We've seen your work as a debate chairperson. We've seen you fight for the rights of the student, and we do not wish to take away any credit from you. Now, we've never seen you a deputy president. We, particularly myself, yeah? Now, Ryan, what do you think, why did you pick her as your partner, and how is she going to probably emulate what you bring to the table?
Thank you, Kenyakisa. Next person now. Time. Make it brief.
So, niko na maswali tatu.
Make it one, please.
Okay, I'm going to join them. The first one, how are you going to deal with security harassment? Number two, I'll quote Chris. He said that the money that they get from the students, that's like 400 bob. They use it to sponsor the event like Cultural Week. Yes? That's what Chris said. So, but there's, they don't deliver, but for example, the artists you bring, they perform a very short period of time, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So this time you said you're going to bring, and people voted. So how are you going to change that, for the students to have a great time, not just that 20, 30 minutes? My last question is, I think this one, it's a security question. 2 years ago, 2023, a laptop disappeared, a MacBook, in the hostels. 2024, another MacBook disappeared. Isaac is saying his laptop disappeared. So when you go to the offices, they tell you, write at least heriwa mwenye aliambiwa andike documents. For us, we were told there's no CCTV working. That's what the end of the story. So for those students whose laptops disappear, maybe a phone or something, there is no compensation for the laptop, and a laptop is something that a student needs. How are you going to address that security issue for a laptop?
Thank you.
All right. Okay. I have very quick questions for the candidates. I have very quick questions for the candidates. First of all, Chris Karume, you have been the Secretary General of the institution. So we cannot start saying what you did, what you did not do. There's something called command responsibility. I think Kenyakisa knows. Anything that happens that did not work, you are to be held accountable. Your manifesto was very ambitious last year. Very ambitious. And you told us you will visit, you have told us. I have one question. You have said that you want to increase from 400 shillings to 800 per student. Do you realize that will increase the school fees of students?
He does not know.
Secondly, do you also realize that students are really suffering with even the amount of money they are giving as school fees? And this money, to some extent, does not serve them to how they want to be served. Secondly, we have only had one event. Last year we only had the first year's Freshers' Night. Since then, we have been here just loitering. I'm in it. I'm in it. I'm in it. Esther SG. It is your responsibility to speak for the students. How can we prove that indeed try to push? To Ryan.
Make them quick.
Okay, I'm making them quick. The noise is the one that is not giving a chance.
Just ask, ignore the noise.
All right, just a minute. To Ryan, my question will be this. We have been able to be told your impeccable work. Everybody can see what you have done in terms of clubs and societies. Most clubs and societies are dying. What are you going to do about that? Your deputy has been asked about what she has been able to contribute. Being an international student, do you think that this is a good opportunity that for the first time we have an international student at a very high office as that?
Next
And
person.
with that give other international students an
Next
opportunity?
person.
Thank you.
Next person.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So,
Order, please. Order.
Okay.
Order.
Yes. Comrades
Order.
power. Comrades Ria. Warembo Mwa. I am Martin Migere, a student of Africa, Nazarene. In the constitution of the Student Governing Council, it is clear that so long as you are not confessing the Christianity, you are not allowed to ascend to the highest position in this particular institution. My question is,
Order. Kenyakisa.
We really have
Kenyakisa, order.
situations. My question to the presidential aspirants: do you think it's fair for my sister?
Excuse me.
My sister.
No.
Zainab.
That question cannot proceed. Ask another one. That question cannot proceed. Ask another one. That is a very controversial question. It cannot proceed, and that is final. Let us allow them.
Silence, so I address you. I'll start with Kanyakisa's question, which I will. He has alleged that my deputy has not been seen, which is a misguided question. But I appreciate the part you gave me your flowers, considering my exemplary performance. But now, let me give you a rundown of what my deputy has done this far since coming to Nazarene. She's participated in Innovation Week. Try and maintain silence. She's participated in Innovation Week as a participant, pitched an idea for her team, being that she's an international business management student, a smart one for that matter. Another one, she was a junior coach recently in Impact Week, right? And also a volunteer in the Health Prize competition. Health Prize members will agree. So, Kanyakisa, okay, silence. 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 To further demonstrate and answer his question on why I chose her, is because of the results that she's had. At Impact Week, she was a coach, and her team won. Yes. Silence. Another thing is, I had a chance to discuss with her on the welfare of the students, and she shares the same goal and objective with me. And in that, then, I was persuaded enough to have her as my deputy. Thank you. Silence. Silence. The other question that Sam asked is what I'm going to do with the dying clubs in Africa Nazarene. So maybe before I even answer what I'm going to do to other clubs, I'll tell you what I have done being the chair of the debate club. So as the chair of the debate club, me, myself, and even James, who has written to me, silence, who has written to me on many occasions as to my performance as well, he's commended me for increasing the numbers of students participating, commended me for the results that we've had, the trophies that we've won. And in fact, from my mentorship, Ryan, who is here, won yesterday. Yeah. Silence. That shows you the extent of my capacity as a leader. And what I'm going to do with the other clubs, I'm going to ensure that we have trainings for those club leaders. We have more events to bring us together so that we can even understand what clubs are in existence. Sam has mentioned that we've only had one event, which is concerning. And we've proposed silence, and we've proposed that we're going to have more events so that we bring ourselves together and get to understand what it is that we can do to have a vibrant community. And that is what I'm going to undertake within a year. I've been asked a question about security harassment. Silence. I've been asked a question about security harassment and also the theft that has been reported. So on harassment, I've had a chance. These are personal stories, really. There's a day I went to the library with this coat of mine, and I was told I have to remove this. Silence. And I had to have a discussion with the security personnel so that they help me understand what rules indeed requires me to not have this. And after she considered that indeed there's no rule cast on stone that requires me to remove this. And so what I'm trying to say is, if you're harassed, then it means silence. Then it means
allow him to answer questions,
silence.
Bana. Allow him. You're students, you're not goons.
So the term. Okay. Silence.
I withdraw. I withdraw. I withdraw. I withdraw. I withdraw.
Okay.
I withdraw.
Silence.
I withdraw. I withdraw.
Comrades.
I withdraw. I withdraw. I withdraw. I withdraw.
Silence.
Proceed. Comrades. Silence. Isaac. Mr. Isaac. It's okay. He has withdrew. Okay, now silence, guys. Silence. So what I'm trying to say, the term harassment has asked is not anything done within the law. So if anything is done not within the law, then you should question that. And that particular person should explain to you. Okay, thank you. On the last bit, which was on the theft, seeing that it was ably responded, I'm just going to say, if any theft happens within the grounds of Nazarene, then investigations have to be done, such that report has to come out as to how is it that that student got to another hostel that is not a member. Yeah. But that is something you're going to follow up on. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I'll now hand over the program to Cyrus.
Comrades, calm down. Time for questions is done. Asanteni. I would like to thank the presidential candidates for their time and for answering the panelists' questions. And I am not biased, Martin. When you use someone's religion to discredit them, then that becomes bias, not what I did. That was not a neutral question. That was a question using religion to discredit someone. And we must call it out as what it is. With that, the debate session for the presidential candidates has come to an end. I'd like to thank all the candidates for their time and for taking the time to answer all the questions that have been posed to them. With that, excuse me. Tafadhali, let's calm down. You can exit the podium.
Beni tafadhali.
Thank you, students, for engaging in the presidential debate we had today. We want to thank all the candidates. Isaac, order. We want to thank all the candidates for participating in the same. And as the chairperson of the commission, I would like to say a word of prayer for the candidates as they proceed to the next level. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you this day. We thank you for the gift of one another. We thank you for the fruitful session that we have had today. We put our candidates before your able hands, Father, that you may bless them and enable them to continue to the next phase. May you give the delegates the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to be able to analyze the right candidate for the students and for them to be able to make informed decisions. For whoever shall proceed into the Student Council of 2026-2027, we pray
that the Lord shall enable them, hold their hand until the very end. This is our prayer of faith. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
What would I be doing without my life?